Okay, I am opening the quote now. There exists a movement called the Chaos Magic Movement. This is a spiritual movement that tells its followers that through the sheer power and will of the human mind, as long as you follow certain rituals, that as long as you will something enough, you can make it happen purely through the sheer might of your mind. This brings me to today's quote, "Wishing is witchcraft, and I don't believe in wishes," from Leonard, age 51. Now, what this quote means is that wishes are nothing without action. They are nothing to believe in. You must have more than wishes. You must have action to back it up. And so there are two reasons why I agree with this. One, some people expect too much with no action. And two, wishes die when action stops. So, first, some people expect too much with no action. You can want something, you can really, really want something even, but if you're not making the proper steps to make what you want come true or happen, then your wishes are pointless. There's nothing there. An example of this from history would be William Silvis and the NLU. The NLU, the National Labor Union, was the first national level labor union in America, and it was run by William Silvis, who was a very passionate man about what he did. He really, really, really wanted his movement to be a success. However, as time moved on, after the Civil War, from the 1860s into the 1870s into the 90s, he did not keep it up with the times. He never had a reckoning between the racism and sexism in his movement with the Black labor movement, the women's labor movement, the women's suffrage movement. And so, because he did not take those steps, his movement fizzled into obscurity and died out with him after he died. Another example of expecting too much with no action would be the wrestler Roman Reigns. Now, in the early 2010s, the WWE was seeking to replace John Cena, the man who had been the face of their company for so long. And they chose a man named Roman Reigns to be his replacement. However, wrestling fans are pretty fickle, and you can't just bring in a guy and tell them he's a hero. You have to put in the effort. The people running the WWE did not put in the effort, leading to Roman Reigns being booed every time he was in the ring for years. It just goes to show, without action, your wishes go nowhere. Next, the second reason why I agree with this quote. Wishes die when action stops. Now, to illustrate this, I'd like to use the example of Mark Lanigan. Mark Lanigan was a blues singer on the Seattle music scene back in the 90s, back during peak Nirvana days. He was actually friends with Kurt Cobain. And he finally got his big break when he was about to collab with Kurt. And then we all know how that story probably goes. And unfortunately, because the action stopped, even though he was on his way to fulfilling his wishes, his career fizzled out. If the action stops, the wishes stop too. And another example of this would be the United Irishmen Rebellion. Back in the 1790s, fresh off the heels of the American and French Revolution, Ireland was seeking to establish its own democracy as well, where Catholics and Protestants would be equal. However, their movement was crushed by the British, leading to their wishes being gone for nearly 100 years before another movement would free Ireland. And so this just shows that wishes die when action stops. Which brings us back to the quotation interpretation: wishes are nothing without action.